Who in the blue hell is Reese McGuire? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's another episode of the Chicago Cubs Central Podcast. And it's your boy, Mike Jones, back here again. Cannot wait to share with you guys all the great news, all the great happenings of what is going on with our favorite team. That's right. The Chicago Cubs once again won. That's right. And they win another series. We got to fly that W flag. That's right. The Chicago Cubs are 11 games over 532 and 21 on the season after winning another come from behind game against the Cincinnati Reds. That's right. We take another division rival and make them cry at our feet as the Chicago Cubs are victorious once again. Man, listen, let me tell y'all something. This game was one of those games that was nerve-wracking. I found myself not in the best of moods as Ben Brown took the mound today. I was looking and I'm like, man, this story is writing itself. Ben Brown is just not good enough to be a starter. And I already know what the episode is going to be about tonight. We're going to talk about Ben Brown just not good enough to be a starter. He's just not good enough, to be a starter maybe in this league until he gets a third pitch and until he gets control of that fastball, because he could hike it up there, 96, 98, 99 even. He can also hit triple digits. However, Ben Brown has lost control of that fastball. And if he does not have command of the strike zone, he will not strike anybody out, and he will walk people, and he will give up big hits. And the Reds basically beat up on poor Ben pretty much all game long while he was in the game. However, the tide changed as soon as Chicago Cubs saw that the Reds were going to go ahead and put their bullpen in. And listen, let me tell you something. The Chicago Cubs have no mercy on these bullpens. They do their best work 6th, 7th, 8th inning in a lot of these games when they're going up against these bullpens, and they just demolish them. But looking at Ben Brown, his last 3 starts, 13 innings, 13.4 innings pitched, 19 hits, 16 earned runs, and 2 base on balls, and 18 strikeouts. Like I said, it's not the best work done. Like I said, and it's just tough because you look at this and it's just like, there is potential there for Ben to be better. You know that Ben can do more, and you know that he can be better, but he needs, like I said, he still has stuff he has to work on. There's still things that Ben Brown has to figure out as a major league pitcher. Starting pitcher. Like I said, and I'm not saying he can't figure those things out. I'm just saying that while the Chicago Cubs are in the midst of trying to win the division, you cannot ask of them to wait on Ben Brown's development, if that makes sense. If I'm the Chicago Cubs, I am looking at potentially sending Ben Brown back down to AAA. There are a bunch of arms out there that you can go and you can pick up to bolster your bullpen. You can maybe even try Chris Flexen as a starter, or on top of that, you can also look at Kintai. I think his name is. Hold on, Chicago Cubs. Oh, it's Kenta Maeda. Like I said, is the Cubs could potentially be looking to get him ready. I know he is down pitching in AAA right now. He could be getting ready to come up and help the Chicago Cubs with their pitching woes. And man, do they have those pitching woes. However, this is another game where you look at and you say, why are the Chicago Cubs so good? The Chicago Cubs are so good because their offense is able to lift them up past superb defenses that these teams have against them. The Chicago Cubs did come out. Pete Armstrong did strike first. He got two runs on a single in the first. And then after that, Cincinnati put up a 4 spot on Ben Brown in the bottom of the first. Then after that, in the top of the second, the Chicago Cubs did score another run with Reese McGuire hitting his first home run. And then after that, the third, nothing, the fourth, nothing. In the fifth inning, the Reds put up another 4 spot, and that would be it for them as far as scoring wise go, because after that, it was all Chicago Cubs. In the sixth inning, Horner scored on Barlow's wild pitch. And then in the seventh inning, Nico Horner doubled to left, and Pecro Armstrong and Swanson scored off of that. That brought it to 6-8. And then after that, in the seventh, Bush singled to right. Horner scored. That was 7-8. And then in the eighth inning, McGuire homered again, his second homer of the game. That tied the game 8-8. And then in that same eighth inning, Seiya freaking Suzuki sent a 3-run shot out into left. And the Chicago Cubs took an 11-8 lead that they never relinquished after. And I'm just telling you guys, like I said, the Chicago Cubs have figured something out with their bullpen. There is a tree trust there. And the crazy part is they're doing this. They don't even have Porter Hodge back yet. But like I said, these guys are figuring it out. Drew Pomerantz, Brad Keller, Daniel Palencia. Those are the guys you need to talk about because those guys are doing their thing. Caleb Tealbar it was good too. Brazier was good. Like I said, nobody out of the bullpen today gave up a hit. That's what you want to see out of your bullpen. You want to see guys come and you want to see guys take care of business. And that's what the Chicago Cubs bullpen did today. So, yeah, man, like I said, Chicago Cubs are rolling. But player of the game, folks, his name is Reese McGuire. Why is Reese McGuire the player of the game? Well, Reese McGuire not only found out that he was going to have to play today, this morning, because originally supposed to be Carson Kelly. We did a whole episode yesterday talking about how Carson Kelly was going to end up having to play more because Miguel Amaya was put on the 10-day injured list, right? No, Carson Kelly came down with something and was sick and was a late scratch in today's game. And boy, did it open up a pathway and a door for Mr. Reese McGuire. That's right. Reese McGuire came through. Reese McGuire had formerly playing with the Toronto Blue Jays, a no-name, basically that down in the Cubs system, was not expecting to make it to the big leagues at all. Had some legal trouble back a while ago, but literally came into this game and was the deciding factor. I think one of the deciding factors in this game. The way he lifted this team up, the way that he worked with Ben Brown throughout his struggles, and then the way he caught for the bullpen. And then on top of that, coming in and adding offense with 2 solo home runs. I mean, you can't ask for more than that off of somebody. Miguel Amaya has 3, Reese has 2, and Carson Kelly has 9 home runs. The Chicago Cubs are lucky that they have good catchers that are able to rake. But then again, it's just like what Kyle Tucker said. Everybody on this team's rakes, right? I am over the moon excited and happy for Mr. Reese McGuire. Like I said, I don't know how long he'll be in the majors, but the Chicago Cubs just battle, man. They just battle. Like I said, when you put your bullpen in, they just battle and battle and battle and battle, and they don't stop. They keep coming. And I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch because you literally have to beat the Chicago Cubs down. And it's hard to do because they just keep coming. The Chicago Cubs team is for real, man. Like I said, they improved their record to 32-21, looking to win 3 more games. They're going up against the Colorado Rockies in that Rockies series. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs need to establish themselves early in this series. They play at 1:20 on Monday, and it'll be Carson Palmquist, who's 0-2 with 11.88 ERA, going up against Jameson Taillon, who is 3-3 with a 4.13 ERA. Then you look to Tuesday. Tuesday, it will be Cade Horton, who is 2-0 with a 4.40 ERA, going up against Marquez, who's 1-7 with a 7.66 ERA. And then last but not least, on that Wednesday, we'll have Gordon versus Boyd. Gordon is 1-1 with a 4.38 ERA, and Michael Boyd is 4-2 with a 3.42 ERA. Like I said, man, the Chicago Cubs are figuring it out. And then after that, they stay in Wrigley, and we'll see these same Reds again, 120 games all the way. And that will wrap up the month of June for the Chicago Cubs. So, like I said, man, a grand opportunity here to take care of some business, to win some games that you're supposed to win, and take care of some teams you're supposed to take care of, and just keep boasting that record. So that's what we're looking for, man. But yeah, guys, whoever would have thought, if you would have told me in a million years that Reese McGuire was going to be one of the deciding factors why the Chicago Cubs won this game, I'd have told you are absolutely freaking insane. However, he is the one that helped do this. So yeah, man, appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, it's been real. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.